Bay Area. Fast, busy, exciting. Why am I in the Bay Area? Is it the American dream? Is it the exciting metropolitan lifestyle? Is it the skyline and the different nationalities that I can interact with? Is it my job and the huge company I work in? Is it being educated in the best school? Is it vacationing in the most exciting places? Why am I in the Bay Area?
Why Bay Area is a few things, like one is our community and the friends that we have here, and I like Bay Area because of the temperature here all around, and also diversity and different cuisines, food.
I can't believe how these past 10 years have flown by. It just looks like yesterday we got together to plant this church, and I'm so grateful and so thankful for God's calling me to shepherd this church. I consider it the greatest privilege in my life, the greatest honor, and I'm so thankful for our leaders that God gave us, our founding elders, Sat and Pastor Tad and Pastor Jeff. They were an amazing band of brothers who encouraged me, inspired me, and walked with me and believed in this dream and vision that God has given us. And I don't think we could have gone this far without their support.
The picture in Revelation 7:9, where people from every tribe and nation and tongue worship together, resonated deeply with me. And when Spectrum started, we started as a church for multi-ethnic worship, and that resonated with me, and I didn't have a problem picking Spectrum. And the second reason is the people. I had a pastor and elders who I knew, who deeply cared about my spiritual growth and my family, and who mentored me and helped me to grow in my leadership. And so it was an easy decision to be part of Spectrum.
So even April of 2014, that was a very special time, and it's very, very powerful, I'd say, in my own life to say, wow, getting us together and starting a church. So that still is an amazing thing to me. Proverbs talks about just like iron sharpens iron, one man sharpens another. And Pastor JP really, I think, arguably has probably sharpened me more than anyone other, one single person in my life. And he's challenged me, he's helped me to become stronger, helped me to, I think, become a better evangelist.
To set the context, growing up in a traditional Christian family, but not actually connected with God. It's kind of doing things as a task list. But Spectrum Church played a critical role in my life, especially, starting with the metamorpho, what we did. It's how people change. That kind of paradigm change for me in my life. We started reading, and God allowed and God opened my eyes to do a self-scanning, and then that's where everything got changed. That would be the first stepping stone for me to know God personally. And then over the period of time, I can see God was clearly working in my heart, and I started seeing myself how much Christ is needed in my life. That is one aspect. And then I'm very thankful to God for giving me opportunity to spend more time with Pastor JP, especially during the hiking time or one-on-one time with him when we used to drive from house to the church. So during that time, the conversation what we had with the Pastor JP, that was all like thankful moment where I personally connected with God. A year back, I think, I had a conversation with Pastor JP, and then one point he said kind of struck me. The work what we do is nobody's going to remember that, but when we care about people, one another, we love one another, that's going to stand forever. So that kind of struck me a lot, actually. Then I started thinking about people. In general, I don't talk to people. It takes time for me to connect with people. Now, God opened my heart to see people who they are, accept them who they are, and then I'm able to go talk to them and care for each other. And I'm able to pray, which is significant growth. So, love your neighbor. That's a pretty straightforward commandment that is sinking with me. I would say that would be the critical moment.
One way that God has blessed me through the Spectrum Church is through baptism. By taking baptism classes with Pastor JP, I've been able to understand my testimony better and ultimately share it with the rest of the congregation. I will always be thankful for all the love and support that the Spectrum Church has showed me through my spiritual journey.
I'm grateful for how much closer I've gotten to God through the Spectrum Church, through what I learn on Sundays and through small group, and through the loving and encouraging community of people I found here.
Something that has stood out for me over the past 10 years is, as a church, the 3 R's that are very important for us as a church are relationships, relationships, and relationships. I'm incredibly grateful for the rich friendships that I have come to develop with everyone in our church, and I'm thankful for each of them allowing me to come into their lives and disciple them at a one-on-one level, because life can get very hard living in a place like the Silicon Valley. And as much as you can be blessed with the sermons on Sunday and small groups and Bible studies, at the end of the day, all you need is someone to come into your life and walk alongside of you. And I am so thankful for letting me do that. And I've seen God do amazing things in everyone's lives, which has gone to strengthen my own faith journey as well.
If the church has not been there, probably we could have broken away. But we have been grateful for the church, and I wish the church good work to continue. There are many instances when the church helped us to go closer to God. Generally, in my experience, when we are doing good, we slowly drift away from God. And there are some circumstances when maybe it's because of God's will, we have to walk through the valley. And during those times, we feel that's the end of the rope. And it's so difficult. Those days are difficult. And during that time, it was a very great help that the church has come forward to come regularly, spend a lot of time with us and with our children.
One thing I can remember is during the birth of my children, the church supported us with their love, the hospital visits, and the food they provided for our family. We have been blessed during that time with the help that they provided us in enabling a smooth delivery during that time. And this exemplifies Spectrum Church's love and dedication to its fellow members.
Being kind of recognized as a children's pastor and having these kids that, to just see them grow up and to see them mature.
I love Spectrum Church because we can learn about God.
Because we get to play football and basketball every week. A place that I can worship God. It's a place where I can learn about God and pray to Him. So I can learn about God more.
It's a place where I can worship God and be with Him. Because we play football.
Because we can learn about God.
Because we can go somewhere on a trip on Spectrum Church and I love EBS.
We can learn more about God and how to love Him.
Because it teaches about how God died for us and how He loves us. I have a white car.
It's like, wow, that makes it all worth it.
The gospel changes everything, but it all starts in our home. It starts in marriages, which can get very stressful living in a place like Silicon Valley. As husbands learn to love their wives and one another, and in parenting, and when it spreads to loving other brothers and sisters and people in our community, and the love spreads out, then the transformation starts from inside the church, and it slowly starts spilling out into our neighborhoods, our communities, our cities, and our nation. And it's been a joy for me to also witness God's hand in helping us see some of these amazing things that you may not get to see when you walk into church on a Sunday morning, but God's Spirit is always on the move, constantly discipling people through all the ups and downs in their lives.
One moment that stands out in our life is when Anand and I faced significant challenges in our marriage. We remember how the Spectrum Church and our pastor gave us invaluable advice on forgiveness, love, and strengthening our bond. They taught us practical ways to communicate, love, and support each other during our tough times. So our Spectrum family have been a beacon of light in our life, in sharing our sorrows and also through our thick and thin, and how they have been a very good source of a pillar of strength in uplifting our spiritual lives and in bringing the bond between me and my husband as a family and as a couple. I thank God for that.
Every week the gospel has been preached by Pastor JP, and then hearing that gospel, it gives me so much of joy to go to hear the gospel's message every week, and gives me so much thrill so that I could walk with God whatever comes my way. Reading the gospel and seeing the acceptance, I'm able to forgive my husband even if something happens. He also able to have patience with me, and then forgiveness is there. And then so much of encouragement between us during tough situations and everything. Especially God helped me to love Him more than anything else in this world.
One thing in the recent few years God has been teaching me is to understand that He is sovereign. It's not, He's wise and He's sovereign. And through the 3 losses that I faced the last 4 years, I would be always saying, if I had not known God, I would have gone for waste. I'm really grateful for Spectrum Church and the friends that God has blessed me with. A family, I would say, away from my own family. And also in our marriage, God has done amazing things. He has brought us one, me and my husband, and we accepted God together, and we really received that grace together. He opened our eyes together. And even today, every day, He binds us together. And to our children, we are able to talk and model about what Christ has done for us. It's really amazing. And we are really grateful for Spectrum Church.
When you're learning how to swim, you need swim instructors at that time. But once you know how to manage that and navigate waters, even in deep waters, you don't need anybody. I feel when we are new at marriage, even though we are adults, we kind of knew the outline of, because of our premarital counseling, what's expected for us to do. But when we were in the throes of it, we didn't realize how to navigate that, and we really needed help.
Last year, as a family, we went through a lot. Some of the church folks know it, but Shweta went through a severe postpartum depression. I didn't know how to handle. I was so pressurized due to work. I was always at work, even though I was working from home. So when Shweta needed my presence, I was not there. I was in pressure and I was neglecting family. But it was really God's grace and protection that really saved our marriage, and also the prayers of the church.
This church has been a backbone to us. It's a family away from family, because I think none of our family members could have been there during the past 3 years when we are going so many ups and downs in our life. But Pastor JP, along with so many women of the church who reached out, and so many elders, men of the church too, they reached out, they counseled us. So we are thankful for their wisdom, because we didn't have to reinvent the wheel and we didn't have to go through the same troubles again and again. I can see a stark difference in our relationship, especially putting God back in. That has been a challenge which we had, and in our individual life as well as in our family life, spend time with God. I don't think any of these things would go away.
I thank God for giving me a church who really love us and you really want us to grow in Christ. and they have been a pillar of support to us. And really also thank God for protecting our marriage and keeping us together and helping us to journey this far.
These are our stories, and we are the hands that welcome you.